It's a pleasure once again to have you here on the link tonight. We promise to continue giving you information you can use plus opportunities. We want to thank Standard Chartered Bank for putting money in this show to make sure we bring you information you can use. And tonight we're talking about the Credit Reference Bureau. What it does, it keeps your information when you have borrowed. And when you go to borrow from another institution, they will refer to the Credit Reference Bureau and say, but you still owe the other bank, so we won't give you money. So they keep your records to make sure you don't double borrow. But now something happened, changes happened in that law of the CRB, and we want to discuss them tonight and how they will affect you. My guest tonight is Miss Leilah Najjuuko from the Uganda Bankers Association's CRB committee. Leilah, welcome.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Tell us about the changes that have happened in the Credit Reference Bureau law, I think of 2022.
Yes. Thank you for the question. The Credit Reference Bureau law was passed last year,
okay.
September 2022, and the major change, or amongst the changes, is the onboarding of the SCPs in the credit sharing space.
Okay.
SCPs are accredited credit providers.
Okay.
Previously, we had only financial institutions that were sharing information in this whole space. They were the only players. Financial institutions, I mean the commercial banks, the credit institutions, and the MDIs. Okay. They were the only institutions that were submitting data to the CRBs. But now with the new law, the SCPs, the accredited credit providers, are now into this space. Okay. Examples of accredited credit providers, we have the money lenders, we have the Saccos, we have the telecom companies, we have the utility companies, the landlords, name it, anyone who is going to give out money on credit. Yes, now they can do the information sharing and receiving. So that is one of the major changes in the new law. But then the other change is about the distribution of the responsibility of the different stakeholders involved. We have stakeholders like consumers, we have the financial institutions, and then now the CRBs. So what they need to do is now more clearer, the timelines on what they need to do. So that was also part of the new law. Then the other change is they changed something to do with the data retention. The CRBs, they're expected to now store this data for 10 years. For 10 years. Now, one of the changes was the written off. Previously, the written off loan would go off after 5 years, but now it's 10 years. So the data retention was also part of the new changes.
Written off would mean that I have defaulted.
Yes.
I have defaulted, and that record is going to stay for 10 years on my record. Okay. Yes. Before we go to the second question, take me through, people may not understand, how do I as a borrower relate with the Credit Reference Bureau? How do I relate with them? What role do they play in my life as a borrower or a user of financial services?
Now, for you as the borrower and the credit, when you come to a financial institution, the financial institution will get your details, your name, where you stay, the loans you're going to take, and the security, everything. So that information is going to be submitted by the financial institution to the CRB. So the CRB will look at this information, they will validate it, they store it, and store it into a report. So now you as the user, you can use this report in very many ways. One is nowadays people use it when you're going to be employed. One of there's some employers who ask for this report to know your character, your credit worthiness, are you good or not before employing.
Or you're a defaulter.
Or you're a defaulter, yes. So as a user, you will definitely know that this information will be used by the employer. Then also as a user, this information will help you in case you need to get financial services. If the information is good, definitely the turnaround time will be quicker because there will not be any moving up and down. The information is readily available.
With a person we can trust.
Yes, yes. And then also you can use that as a bargaining power because your credit information is good.
Yeah, I didn't know actually.
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay. How can an institution... Okay, we know what the banks can do, but let's move to those other people you told us about, money lenders, landlords, utility companies, Umeme, National Water, etc. How can they make use how can they enlist the services of the credit reference bureaus? Because previously they have not been doing it.
True. Now, for these other institutions, now the Saccos, the money lenders, how can they be enlisted? Now, the accreditation process is under the CRBs.
Okay.
The CRBs are the ones who go through who are mandated to take over this process under the supervision of Bank of Uganda.
Okay.
So you as an institution or as a Sacco or as a money lender, if you want to be enlisted, you apply.
Okay.
So you apply to the CRB. Right now in Uganda, we have 3 CRBs. We have Credit Info, formerly Experian. We have Metropole CRB and No Grid.
Okay. So
you who wants to be enlisted, you can apply to any of them. So when you apply to them, they already have guidelines set by them and BOU. They already have guidelines. So they will assess you as the person who has applied to be accredited.
Okay.
They will assess you based on the guidelines, and then they will definitely communicate back to you in not more than a month after receipt of your complete application. So once you're successful, they'll let you know, depending on either you're successful or not, they'll communicate to you.
What might fail me?
It depends on whether you've met all the guidelines, whether whatever they've asked from you, you've availed it, all the documentation. If you've availed it and they believe that you've passed the application, then you'll definitely be onboarded.
For instance, if I'm a landlord, I need to show that I own the property that I am. Definitely. They will ask you different documents. They might ask you for evidence. Yes, you are a landlord. What shows that you are the landlord of that particular place? So for as long as you avail them, then you'll be good to go. Let's keep with the low-hanging fruit. If I'm a landlord, why would I go to a credit reference bureau? If just help me. I know people will be like, If you're a landlord, I believe if you're a landlord and then a tenant comes wants to occupy your houses, but this tenant has been defaulting anywhere, this information would be useful, because if before you onboard, you allow this person to occupy your houses, you can check the credit report and find out. Have they been defaulting elsewhere or not? Otherwise, if you ignore that information, you're going to be chasing them and following up with phone calls. That hassle, really. So this information is going to help you onboard the right people, the right tenants into your houses. Can I, as a landlord, register my tenant with the CRB, even without them defaulting? I don't know. Can I do that? Like I have a new tenant, guys, CRB, this is the guy. These are my tenants. This is the list. Is that how we do it? Now with the new regulations, if you're submitting positive information, you need to get consent. You need to get consent from your consumers. So if the consumers are not comfortable, then you don't submit their information. The same thing applies to the financial institutions and everyone. For as long as you're submitting the positive information, you need consent. But if it is negative information, you don't need consent. So my tenant has defaulted, I can submit? Yes. That was good for clarity. Yes. What's the implication of these changes to the ordinary use of financial services or a tenant? Now to the ordinary user, one is because of the regulation, your information is readily available now to many people, from the financial institutions to the money lenders to the utilities. So if this information is all gathered, that means access to your information is going to be faster. So in case you need to access a financial service, it will be a lot quicker. Because now instead of someone following up, doing more background check, that will be wastage of time. You have all the information on one report. So it will make the access to information faster. Then now also as a user with the new regulations emphasize the consumer protection. The guidelines, they protect the consumer. So with the new regulations, as the user, you need to find out what are your rights as a consumer. Like I said, now for submitting your information, we need the consent. So we don't just submit someone's information just like that, especially the positive information. So that also as the consumer, it gives you some comfort that I am protected. Then when we go to the bit of a negative side, is now you as the user, your information is readily out there.
if you default even as small as 5,000, probably your utility bill or telecom loan, anything, your information is going to be out there. Previously, someone would be worried, I've gotten a loan from a bank, my information is going to be out there. But now, even if you borrow from a Sacco, from a money lender, from those small people you might ignore, your information is going to be out there. So your image, what are you going to portray? When someone knows you even defaulted 5,000, so your image you didn't pay umeme, really. Your image is going to be tarnished. Then also, as a user, previously, like I gave an example of the written off loans.
Yes.
They were there on the credit report for a short period of time.
Yes.
But then now, once your loan has been written off, it has to be on your report for 10 years until you clear. So, as a user, when you get a loan, when you get credit, you need to pay your money on time and complete your loan. Otherwise, your information is going to be out there.
I mean, I defaulted, things went bad. Banange. Why should they keep this record of I'm just thinking if I was the one.
No, but that at the end of the day, that is the importance of CRB.
Yes.
The importance of CRB is to make for institutions to make informed decision making.
Yes.
So if they take off that written off loan and you go to another institution
and default
again, really you're going to be disturbing very many institutions. But at least once your information is on the credit report, you default from bank A, you won't affect bank B. You won't affect bank C. Minus that information, you're disorganizing the entire sector.
Actually, my takeaway here, Leilah, is that if I default on my village Sacco and they take my information to CRB, I am finished. I cannot even now go to a commercial bank or a bigger cooperative. I can't. I'm done. Yes,
because you default from your village Sacco. By the time you come to a bigger bank, they have the information already on the report.
Wow.
You have nowhere to run to.
Thank you very much for precisely and concisely putting that information forward. Viewers, if you have habits of borrowing here and there and fooling around, but you won't pay, okay, some you will fail, but some just keep on hoping and, borrowing and defaulting. Your days are numbered. Even your landlord, you say, I'll jump into one apartment and run away and go and rent another one. A time is going to come when landlord is going to say, what's your name? What's your number? And they check on you and they say, I won't give you the house. Do not be surprised. Or you go to your Sacco and they say, but we have checked with the other cooperative and you didn't pay. Don't be surprised. We hope we added value to you in warning you how you're going to borrow and not pay or pay. Thank you, Standard Bank, for putting money here to make sure we supply this kind of information. That was the link. Thank you for joining us tonight.